Hey, does this one look familiar? How about the cover of a Beach Boys album? This car is redone, Bob, and here at the museum.
It is beautiful. They transported it in specifically for the Grand National Roadster Show. And for those of you old enough to remember the Beach Boys, when they were doing albums every year type thing, this was the cover of one of their albums, and it's one of the most famous chop top hot rods around.
So we're here. I'm Randy Cardoon along with Bob Beck. We are here, of course, at the Grand National Roadster Show. Also here, come on over here. If you've watched the Barrett-Jackson event this past week almost ago as we record this, they had the Barrett-Jackson Cup. That's where they get a bunch of cars and they have people update them, customize them. This was your winner this last year. A 1959 Chevy, and it came out, you'll notice it's got basically black bumpers, no real chrome to speak of. Oh, there is a little chrome in there, but not much. But it is black chrome, I guess they call it. So, Bob, tell me a little bit about the car.
Well, it's a beautiful 59 Chevy Impala hardtop. Now, they're not that rare, but this one is done immaculately. You look at the trim on it, it is prepared much better than Chevrolet ever did. It's set down low, disc brakes. It is a beautiful example of what could be done with a 59 Chevy. It's not a low rider, it's just dropped real low.
And drop dead gorgeous, according to a lot of people. And down here is the very own, let's see if I can get it for you. That is the Barrett-Jackson Cup, the actual cup, with all sorts of wrenches on it and all that stuff. But that is the Barrett-Jackson Cup that they were handed when they won the award in Arizona this past Scottsdale, Arizona, when they had the event. So pretty nice stuff. Also pretty nice stuff. A lot more cars to speak of. You want to know what kind of cars that were out here? Check out some of the rides we found. Hey, it's Ted Moser joining us here on the program from the Grand National Roadster Show in Pomona, California for 2026. Now, Ted, I remember you because I belong to Chrysler Performance West. I've got a 64 Dodge. I remember that you, of course, had the motion picture car place on Reseda Boulevard, which went away, I've lost track. How long ago was that?
2016, approximately.
Oh my gosh.
They sold it and built apartments.
Oh, so it's not there at all. The building's gone?
It's gone.
That's too bad.
Where are you set up now?
We're on Parthenia. We're in a much smaller facility.
Okay.
Have to store all our cars off lot. You know, the pricing in California has just gone ballistic.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's hard to
but you still
rent space.
You still do that, though. You still supply films with vehicles when needed type of thing?
We absolutely do. We just did Dark Winds. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And we did a TV show for HBO called Duster. The hero cars were a 1970 Plymouth Duster. And it took place in 72. So we had over 200 background type cars. And basically what we try and do is, you know, you come to the Roadster Show, you don't see a lot of four-door sedans.
Right.
So you get taxi cabs, police cars, for example, but most of the families had four-door sedans.
Right.
So in order to do an authentic type scene, you want to have cars in the background that the families actually drove, not as much as we love Chevelles and everything else. That wasn't realistic.
No.
They were Plymouth Belvederes and Valiants and
being
Falcons.
And being in Southern California, I would imagine you probably have some decent access to four doors too, right?
Well, I've been doing this since 1990 and got really deep after I did Too Fast, Too Furious in the supplying of picture vehicles. So what I've done over the last 25 years is buy up the four doors. So, like I say, you go into Shreveport, Louisiana, and you can get a car club, the 55 or the Tri Chevy Club. They can bring lots of Bel Airs out there.
Right.
But, the 210s with 4 doors don't exist. Everybody's gotten rid of them. So that's, that was the niche. I bought up all those. So I take them to New York and Detroit, Atlanta. We ship cars all over the country because you just can't find them.
So do you have somebody, maybe it's just you, but somebody whose job is basically to keep their eyes out and seeing where these cars pop up?
Well, it's probably me more than anybody else. It's
you're having fun.
Useless information that I've stored all these years. It's now very useful.
Yeah, but now you're having fun. You're buying them, and someone's paying you to have them.
Well, the history is that I had an auto repair shop. My dad had a gas station. I grew up in that. Went to college thinking I wanted to be an attorney or an accountant. But, got out and went back to work in the gas station because I love cars.
Yeah.
So from that point, I opened my own auto repair shop and hated it. Who's happy coming in and having to put a new engine in the family sedan,
right?
Plus trying to collect money and everything else. So in 88, 89, I got tied in with Die Hard 2. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, but supplied a lot of cars or worked on the cars that they had purchased. They liked what I did and basically ended up moving out here from Denver.
Oh, wow.
Work in the movie industry.
Okay. Die Hard 2 was the airplane one, right?
Correct.
Okay. The one where the airplanes were,
they blow up the 747.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We had a ton of fun doing that one. We did. It was so the effects guy, basically what we did was hung a mortars, 250-pound mortars from a crane, 250 feet in the air, and they filled 4 of these 250-pound mortars with gasoline. I think it was like 35 gallons, something like that, and charges and everything else. Then they ran a primer cord down to us, and they hooked the cables up to my truck. And the one effects guy goes, "Hey, you want to push the button?" I go, "No, I have no idea what to expect." But he hits the button and burned all the hair off our face. I flew this mortar about a mile down the road.
Oh my God!
Down the runway, it was hysterical. But I was hooked after that.
When we were at your shop years ago, when you were still on Reseda Boulevard, you had a lot of cars there that were being used, and some of you were building specifically for some shows. You still do that? Yeah, we still do that, of course. Like I was, we're doing this Paradise Highway. I built this one thing that we call a automated platform. We put the cab of a semi on top of it because we have a show. Well, we actually did 2, but one was with Juliette Binoche. Called Paradise Highway, and obviously trying to drive a semi with a 48-foot trailer on it is next to impossible while you're acting. So we built this. I took an Eldorado chassis, basically took the drivetrain, put it in front, and then it has a remote pod that you can put on the left or the right or the rear or the front with a 35-foot hydraulic umbilicals. Wow. And so you can steer it from anywhere, and that way you can put the camera all the way around it, and it looks like they're actually driving it down the road.
Wow.
Okay. But we just booked another show, so with another female trucker.
Juliette Binoche, just off the top of my head, doesn't come across, or at least to me, as a female trucker. It's not quite, unless there's chocolate in it or something like that.
The story about that was I had a producer call me and, hey, we've got this actress, Juliette Binoche, starring in this trucker movie, and she doesn't know how to drive a truck. Mm-hmm. Do you know some school we could send her to? And I just happened to be up in Vallejo working on Mare Island on a show. And I said, well, if you want to fly her up here, I'll teach her how to drive it because we've got plenty of area she could drive without a license. So they flew her out. I picked her up at the airport, and it was an hour and a half drive from the airport. And she finally goes, "Who's going to drive me? Or who's teaching me?" And I go, "Well, I am." And she goes, she was like amazed that I would pick her up and teach her how to drive the truck.
Did you pick her up in a tractor trailer or what?
I did not.
Oh, okay. That would have impressed her.
Maybe I had an SRT 10 pickup, I think.
Oh.
So I picked her up in that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I taught her how to cuss and all the slang that goes with truck driving.
Well, there are important
It was
Yeah.
important for her character.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
like,
Exactly.
oh,
Not
oh
like
my.
she would do it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, don't be that prick.
goat.
Yeah, don't be that
Oh,
person.
woe
who
is
looks like
me.
again. Yeah.
Oh, did you ever? I mean, have you ever done camera stuff as far as act in those roles? Or
Imposter, you mean? Yeah.
okay,
No, I've done a little bit, but not not much.
theoretically act. Did you do a cameo or something like that?
Well, we did. We did. I built a couple of cars with Kenny Wayne Shepherd, so we did a Hot Rod TV episode,
Okay.
Super Rocket Charger, and then rides. Maybe that was a Super Rocket Charger. And,
Right.
Okay.
But that wasn't a
extremely-
movie, though.
That was.
I was expecting, like, were you in a movie? Did you? I don't know. Maybe you just drove the car.
Die Hard 15 or something.
Or maybe you played like oil change guy at a at a service station scene or something.
Well, okay. So the one. Did you see The Town? With Ben Affleck and where they?
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
They're robbers in Boston.
Right.
I was driving the backhoe behind the cop that was eating the donut when they pulled up in the minivan and had the nun's mask on.
Uh-huh.
So that was about as big as
Did
it
you
got.
get a credit at the end? Did you have a line?
Well, I always get credit, but not as an actor.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Okay.
All right. I was going to say, if you had to act in that movie, did you like have to work on your Boston accent?
Oil? No.
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 Yeah.
Ka.
One of the guys I was working with was very good at that. Though. Bring that car around, and
Yeah.
I didn't get along with the Boston Teamsters at all back there. The rest of the people
Can't-
were great, but
Can't imagine why. Yeah.
You can move your microphone a little bit. There you go. Perfect.
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I just want to make
perfect.
sure everybody can hear you as eloquent as you are.
Okay.
So that works out fine.
You called him an elephant?
Eloquent.
Oh, eloquent. Okay.
Look it up.
What'd you say?
a lot of
By the way,
horsepower,
that's elephant in French.
Eloquent. yeah.
Eloquent. I just
Yeah.
thought I'd bring that up.
Big trunk.
Yeah.
Eloquent. Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it.
So you're basically, you said most of the cars are off-site as opposed to the way it used to be.
Correct.
Okay. So and do you still have the requisite number of police cars and safety vehicles and EMT ambulances and that kind of stuff?
I do, but we specialize in the, 40s to 80s. I don't really get involved in the new
okay.
stuff.
Okay.
There's no real. A lot of the shows buy their own stuff,
hmm
and then there's several vendors that have the late model police vehicles that really just depreciate in value.
What
So there's no sense in owning them to me.
What was the toughest vehicle you had to find for a movie role?
The funniest one, I did a movie called Love and Basketball,
Okay.
which took place in 1996. And trying to find 80s and 90s Hondas and vehicles that weren't kept.
Yeah.
It's really hard in that era of vehicles to supply new ones. I did a show called Tower Heist. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've heard of it.
There was a Ferrari. The story is that this Bernie Madoff type guy has a gold-plated Ferrari in his penthouse, and I think they were Lusos. I'm trying to, and so basically these cars are $6, $7, $8 million, maybe even more now.
Yeah.
But we took we sit down and we talk about it. And we decide that a P1800 Volvo basically has the same greenhouse.
Okay.
So we stripped this P1800 Volvo, sculptured fenders, hood, everything, and basically built one from scratch. Bought a lot of Ferrari wheels, and the car came out perfect. I mean, it's beautiful. The best part of this story is, and I was cleaning my office yesterday and just came across a picture of the guy that's restored Steve McQueen's brown Ferrari. I don't know if you remember the Lusso he had, but he came down and brought me a swatch of the original leather from that Ferrari when he restored it.
Wow.
And said, I know that this isn't real, but it's awful damn good.
Wow,
So that
good.
was a good approval.
Yeah.
Is that dead giveaway though that you worked real hard to recreate this vehicle, and because it's not an original Ferrari, it's probably going to get blown up somewhere in the scene in the movie?
Is it hard?
Well,
if it's not real, no.
No.
What really? For another example, we did 7 pounds with Will Smith.
Okay.
And he's getting engaged to his girlfriend. He's driving a '64 Corvette, and he gives her the ring, and they're driving up the PCH, and she's admiring it. He's like, he loses control, and the Corvette is T-boned by a people mover and knocked off the cliff. So I was going to wreck real cars, and I bought 3 in Arizona, brought them up, and I'm looking at them, and I go, I could make these. So I went back and I had a mold made for $9,000, and then the bodies for I think $4,500, and just put them on 82 and 83 Corvette chassis, which are exactly the same.
Yeah,
and they just wrecked them all. But I didn't have to damage one car.
Yeah, those are all interesting stories, especially when you're dealing with movies that people may know and cars that they. You did not work on the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt about the one in Los Angeles.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, we had cars on it. I didn't work on it.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could do them all, but I can't. No, but that's the thing. All our vehicles are for rent. So picture car coordinators who are doing the shows call us and rent them for a day or a week or. I've got a Volvo going to Albuquerque on Monday for 5 weeks. So,
what are you working on now? Or can you tell us?
Well, I'm doing this Vanity Road, which is a trucker movie.
Right.
We'll start filming on that Monday at 7 a.m.
Okay.
We have assorted commercials. What's really funny is that all these pharmaceutical ads.
Okay.
Are renting a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and then we have sorry, we have so much stuff going on that I'm not involved.
Well, that's
in,
good.
I'm trying to dig it up, but it's we did for the movie Duster. I bought a '50 Chrysler Windsor.
Okay.
That it had the top cut off of it. So Budweiser just rented it for their Super Bowl commercial.
Oh.
So we have a lot of cars that end up on Taco Bell commercials at the Super Bowl. And I've got a pickup truck that's it's a 72 light green and dark green F-250 that doesn't have a straight panel on it. And it's all patinaed out. And I think the revenue to date, I've had the truck 20 years and it's like 85,000.
Oh, gee.
And never done a thing to it.
So
they love it just the way it is. So they're doing a remake of the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or
they're doing a second one.
So we had some cars in that, not a lot of them.
Have they already shot
Palm
it?
Royale, we did.
Okay.
Have they already shot that?
It's still going. They'll be done the end of the month.
Oh wow! Okay.
And yeah, I don't really do the rental end of it. I have so much stuff going on that I kind of hear about that stuff secondhand.
So you're here at the Grand National Roadster Show. Have you seen anything worth yakking about? I mean, there's so many cool cars here. Something that attracted your eye.
Well, I didn't see anything I liked.
Okay.
All right.
No. I appreciate honesty.
Yeah.
This show, if nothing else, well, it's silliness and honesty.
Right.
So
no, but it is funny that I did we had this Monterey Film Festival that my friend Doug was part of, and we did trying to remember, it was the Corvette designer and the Ford GT designer, and I forget who. It wasn't Roger Penske, but it was somebody like that, and myself. And somebody asked the question, well, what's your favorite car? And my response was the one that I'm looking over the hood of at that time.
There you go.
That, and we were regaling as we're walking through. I haven't seen anything I don't like. whether it's lowriders or
Until today, apparently.
maybe overdone to my taste, but it's not. Everything to me is fascinating because it's art. Yeah. It's all art, which is what I really miss about the new stuff.
Are you still able to do tours there at your place? Okay. If anybody wanted to find a tour, if you're in Southern California and you want to check out the motion picture vehicle garage there with, how would they get a hold of you?
Picturecarwarehouse.net. And that's probably the best way to do it.
Okay. Tom Moser, everybody. Thank you for coming down.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
In the hot seat, James Reeser. You know him. We've been on the show several times. Bonneville dragster guy, just certainly getting the world speed numbers going. And now, how fast did you get when we last talked to you? It was pretty good.
At the last time my dad and I had been on the show, we had gotten my 1980 Camaro up to 209.761 before the next day when I had taken the car out. We unfortunately experienced a catastrophic engine failure. And it took us an entire year to get back on our feet. We did get back, and we ended the week with the support of our amazing sponsors at 187 miles an hour and change.
Okay, so drop down mile per hour. Now, what is the record you're going up against?
The record we're going up against is 243 and change.
Okay, so
right about there. It's not. It's one of those where we really feel like it's doable. It's just getting the combo together to be able to do it.
Right, and that's you can put the best stuff together. It doesn't always work quite right until you get it sorted out.
Exactly. It's just a matter of getting the right kinks worked out and actually being able to fully understand the program before we can start putting power down.
All right, so you've got the power. You've got a somewhat aerodynamic car.
Oh, yeah.
But is there, besides working on the engine and trying to get more horsepower, what else are you doing to the vehicle?
In terms of drivability, we're working on the aero package, trying to get everything a little bit more stable, get some more downforce on the rear end. We're actually switching over we're going to a 4-speed air-shifted transmission like what you might see in the dragster that's sitting right above us.
Okay.
We're also going to a blown engine. We're making a pretty big step up. We're going to a blower.
Does that change your class?
In a sense, it does, but it changes the engine class. It doesn't change the body class, if that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah. No, that I understand.
It takes us from about depending on how you look at it, from about a 220 to about a 240 mile an hour record.
Okay, but that blower is going to give you a lot more horsepower.
The blower is going to give us a lot more horsepower, but it's also a matter of being able to learn how to drive with a blower, seeing as neither my dad or I have ever been around a blower motor in any respect to this point.
All right.
It's a pretty big learning curve, but with guys like Driven Racing Oil, guys like Center Force Clutches, and all of our friends and family behind us, I really feel like it's something that my dad and I could take care of.
This could be your year.
Fingers, toes, and everything crossed.
Looking for that 200 mile an hour hat. One of the things that people may not understand is going fast is one thing, but going fast with a Bonneville type car is a whole different game because you don't have big wide tires in the back.
Nope.
You don't have really low gears. You have tall gears.
Yep. That's the thing is with Bonneville, it's not mat the throttle and hold the wheel straight.
Right.
It's a matter of being able to put enough power down to where you can hit your number, but not so much that the salt can't hold it or the dirt can't hold it, and you just end up with a bunch of wheel spin, or God forbid you end up in a pretty bad situation like what myself and several friends have experienced.
Now, you say you had a crash?
Not so much a crash, but so much as a spin out.
Okay.
Well, that could be pretty,
that kind of at 200 miles an hour. Yeah, that could be a little upsetting.
It was like how I was saying the last time I was here. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Right.
It was a situation where I had gotten ahead of myself behind the wheel. I had gotten too comfortable, and I fully admit it. I had gotten too comfortable in that car, and it came back around to try and bite me. And got pretty close, but thankfully with the help of my parents, with the help of my family, and several other teams on the Salt, we managed to get the car back together, and we went back out this last year and we rocked it.
Good.
3 passes, my dad at 187 on a motor that we knew nothing about, and then myself at 108, 170, and then 186 respectively.
Okay. Now, what is the motor that you have in the car?
Currently we've got a 450-inch big block Chevy in it.
Okay. You're running single carburetor?
Yep.
Now you're going to go to a blower. You're going to have to change the internals on the engine.
Yep. We're going a lot more, or what I mean to say is my dad and I are really taking the time to make sure we invest in the right parts in every aspect to make sure that not only is this engine powerful enough to get the job done that we need to do, but it's survivable enough to get the job done twice. And in a perfect world, my dad goes out, he gets the job done first, and then I come back in on his record, and I get it. That way both of us have our hats, but it's my name in the book, which is what we've wanted from the beginning.
Okay, joining us right now, Matt Millsaps. He is with Coker Tire, and it seems every time we come here, Bob, or we go to SEMA or something, Coker's coming up with a different kind of tire. And sure enough, we were here for this. And Matt, tell us a little bit about the new tire you guys have showing at the show here.
Well, the one we've got for Grand National Roadster is all new sizes in the Excelsior Roadster line. We announced the line last year, but we're adding on 550, 18, and 718 to the line for the high boys, big wheel, hot rods, and it's going to be great. It's just furthering our success and the adoption of the Excelsior Roadster line as a whole. I can tell you we also have some other products that we announced previously, all new Pro Track Street Pro 3, 17s through 20s, raised white letter and red lines for resto mods, street rods, and also our wide oval expansion sizes.
Yeah, now when you're telling people about the wide oval, a lot of people may remember them from the 60s if they're old enough, and you are bringing it back in a fashion that it is right. It looks correct on the car.
Yeah, so we've got some really cool sizes in that: E60, F60, G60, H60, L60, and N50 radial 15s. Right. And
you know what those numbers mean. No, don't ask me. You know what those numbers mean. Go ahead.
Let me tell you why those are so important and where the entire idea came from on the wide ovals was, guys have call up and say, hey, I got an old N50 15 I've had on the car for 30 years and want to replace it with the radial. Well, I'd have to go, well, the conversion is a 295 50 15. That's nowhere close. But that is the conversion. It's a lot shorter and a lot skinnier. And now I don't have to, give that caveat. I can just say, here's you a radial N50 15.
Now, one of the things I like about the new tires you're talking about, the red lines, the Excelsior, these tires look like the old bias ply, but they're not. They're radials to current technology. So they're safer. They last longer. You get better traction. They look the part of the car that you're putting them on.
Yeah, and a big deal is that, like you're saying, it's just more comfortable too. The way they made roads back in the day was as flat as possible and as straight as possible. Now we make everything with rain grooves and as curved as possible for various reasons. And technically, the old tires drive worse today than they did back then.
Sure.
Yeah. So your tires look good. They get the traction. They give you the technology of radial, which if you've driven a car with bias ply tires and then you switch that same car to radial, it's like driving a whole different car.
Yeah, and driving bias and explaining that to somebody who's never done it, the example I always use is, when guys in Dragnet would be pretending to be driving down the road and they'd have a green screen behind them, pretending to move the wheel back and forth. That's how driving a bias ply is, and that's fine, but I don't want to start somebody off with it in 2026.
I think that was a 1966 Ford Fairlane, if I'm not mistaken, Bob.
Yeah,
that car?
Dragnet. I can remember that with Dan Aykroyd and...
No, not that Dragnet. I think we're talking about the Jack Webb Dragnet.
Oh, the Jack Webb.
Jack Webb, yeah.
Well, that probably was about the same era.
Harry Morgan, remember him?
That. Yeah, I remember Harry. Yeah, from MASH.
Well, that was
That's true.
pre-match.
Yeah.
That was This was before the Korean War.
Yeah,
sort of.
Okay,
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of. No, afterwards, yeah.
Hard to believe that the LAPD worked before the Korean War. Well, actually,
Yeah,
they did. They
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
but not in the same kind of
different
order.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, tires.
Did you know, by the way, as long as we're talking about tires,
Yeah.
that there was a dragnet on TV? This is old time trivia. Back in the day, Jack Webb was actually on a TV show called Dragnet.
Dragnet, yes.
Where he played the same character.
Yeah, Sergeant Friday.
Right. And it was like the main car of the day was like a 1953 Ford
something like that, yeah.
Overdrive Amatic.
Yeah, Jack
Steam.
Webb. That was his biggest claim to fame that most people knew.
What was that?
That was his biggest claim to fame that most people knew. They didn't know any of the other stuff he did, but they knew him for Dragnet.
Right.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with RuPaul.
Bob Beck, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all show.
Send your complaints to.
Nah, it's all right. We like this guy. We keep him around.
Very around.
Matt, we keep bringing back because he has some interesting news about tires. Go ahead and ask another tire question, Bob.
Coker Tires. You came last year. You introduced the Excelsior. One of the things that I thought was exciting about that car or that tire, on the side of it, it says Grand National Roadster Show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did that in partnership with Grand National. We thought it was important to really get with the community and make sure we're giving the community and the enthusiasts what they're really after.
Right.
So that just shows that we're listening and that we want to be here. We want to be out and about with folks. We're not a faceless corporation. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You can come by and visit. Take me out to lunch. Buy me a beer.
There we go.
Maybe I'll buy you one too.
All right, sounds good.
And that's another episode of the Talking About Cars podcast with Randy and Hot Rod Bob here from the Grand National Roadster Show in Pomona. Great cars, Bob. Great situation. And I'll tell you something. The only thing I've noticed about you is you are like so popular here. You can't go 5 steps without somebody coming up to you.
Bob, sorry to interrupt you. Oh, hey, thanks, Dave.
See what I mean? Okay. Hello, Dave. Thanks for coming by. Oh, no problem, Dave. Thanks. This has been my life since we've been here at the Grand National Roadster Show, otherwise known as Bob's Family Reunion.
Basically, that's what it is. Like he said, every 10 seconds. This is the third person we've run into just walking in the building, and it's not even open yet.
Crazy, but true. More stuff. It's been a great time here, and we thank you so much for checking in with us. Don't forget to make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to that 1,000 mark as far as subscribers are concerned. So for Hot Rod Bob, I'm Randy Cardoon. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you missed any of our other ones, go back to our YouTube channel and check them out. So long, everybody. How do you do that? I don't understand.